Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for access support. Any kind of updates and the such usually are good about on Twitter X. And yeah, um, I did miss out Friday news, and there's been a lot going on on the news front. To a certain degree, in the drama regarding Avowed, Dragon Veil, Dragon Age Veilguard, all that jazz. But there is a lot of already a lot of coverage regarding that, and more updated than I can provide. But yeah, other than that, later today I will be managed to get around and publish a Midnight Suns episode. Um, just as a spoilery kind of thing, I already managed to finish recording the game in terms of episodes. I did manage to do that during the weekend. I just locked myself in the room and recorded everything, tried to make that final push there. But yeah, and as always, I still recommend the game, even without spoiling anything on the game itself. I recommend the game, especially on a deal. If you find one, at least on the base game, I cannot provide any kind of feedback regarding the characters that you can buy on the deluxe version or something like that. But yeah, very enjoyable game. Only had some smaller issues on the final battle, but I go that in the final episode by itself. And of course, usually when I do some gaming series, I do give my overall thoughts at the time after at the final part of that episode as a wrap up to the series there. Other than that, we still have some. They are not active gameplay series per se, but I still have as an highlight Monster Hunter Wilds beta. I managed to record 5 videos there. Sorry. And again, the Fury is here with Elden Ring. I've been catching up as best as I can with Elden Ring lore. I have a lot of ideas, but again, it's the time constraints to do a video exploring my theories and some overall questions that might trigger some discussion. And then again, when I have time, also I try to delve into gaming demos of upcoming already released games to see how it feels that demo there. But yeah, when I have more time, I will try to get into that also. In terms of live streaming, as always, it, it's a little bit messy in terms of scheduling to try and rage a huge chunk of a day or some days on the weekend to do some live streaming. But I will try my best in the upcoming weeks, probably next year. Again, now it's the holiday season, it's a little bit tricky. But yeah, I also have some completed gameplay series, 4K, the recent one, since I rebooted the channel per se, and 1080p, the older ones, before I had to get out of the country and at that 5 year gap without playing any games, I did manage to do some gaming in the meantime there. But yeah, a lot of said, not much spoken. Let's go to the news. Similarly, it seems that it's confirmed that Intel is going to launch Battlemage. There's going to be a tease or at least an announcement on December 3rd, so tomorrow. And supposedly, there's going to be, according to some embargo dates that we've been seeing. I think there was a guy that did a live stream which he presented the Battle Mage, the B580, that he was reviewing. Again, breaking the embargo there. He just wanted to show the packaging, which was the one that I covered a few days ago that appeared on a listing on a site. I don't remember which site, but yeah, it was the same GPU, the same model. I think it was ASRock. But yeah, that guy has already it's already been taken out that live stream again due to the embargo things that usually the reviews should respect to all intents and purposes. But yeah, supposedly the launch will happen on the 12th of this month, launching reviews for the Intel limited edition, supposedly. And then on the next day, there is going to be board partner car reviews. So they are thinking, try to take priority on their own first party launch on the GPU side of things. We also had some information regarding probably the B570. Again, we don't know. Again, we got this from video cards regarding the supposedly specs of the card. Again, now they are saying that probably the B580 will go around and compete in terms of performance with a 4060 Ti instead of the 4060 that was previously rumored. Again, this is just rumors. There is no first party information from Intel, so probably we might expect something at least tomorrow. If not tomorrow, I will assume tomorrow they will tease the upcoming lineup as it comes out. I don't know. And then on the 12th, we will have for sure the reviews from everybody. 12th or the 3rd, we have reviews of how they compete each other. Again, the teased priced MSRP for the B580 should be around $250 again. If it is at the time of launch, competing with a 4060 Ti in performance supposedly, and costing just $250, I think it's pretty competitive, especially because I think the 4060 Ti is hovering around at least 350, 400. I think. I'm not sure on that, the current pricing of the NVIDIA GPUs. But if it managed to compete in that performance, with that performance at this price point, I think they might have, let's say, a winner per se. Again, that all depends also regarding the drivers at launch. I think they have a better framework to work with for this launch. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see for the reviews to have a more definitive answer regarding all this rumored and leaked information. But so far, it seems for the entry level, in terms of consumer, we might have some competition entering in the realm of entry level GPUs. But yeah, I will wait a little bit more. I will try probably cover if I do the tomorrow's video, if they already did this announcement. I will probably cover to see what kind of announcement they are going to do. Other than that, again, I think it's best suited for us to wait for reviews uh, from reviewers and see how the performance competes itself with the current lineup of GPUs available to the consumer. And then in the updates, we got the Sony Kadokawa deal. It seems this is a little bit of a update, and I think it is on negotiations, let's say, but they are reconsidering the proposal. Again, all of these shenanigans happened basically because before, I think this was approved like 1 or 2 years ago, I'm not sure. Japan removed the protection laws regarding full-on acquisitions from Japanese companies, and that opens up, unfortunately, to this kind of situations where Kadokawa is now poised to be acquired by, I think it was Kakao at the time. That they were trying to be aggressive. Again, Kakao is a South Korean company, similar to Kadokawa in the sense that they have gaming, anime, and streaming stuff there. But they are embroiled in a lot of shenanigans, let's say, legal shenanigans. And of course, being a foreign company trying to completely acquire Kadokawa, being a Japanese company, supposedly they didn't like that move, let's say, and they approached Sony, given that it is a Japanese company, to for Sony to do their own bidding on acquiring Kadokawa, and that's why we have this news. It seems that Kadokawa approached Sony for them to do offering. And with that, I think the fact that there was some peak in interest in acquiring Kadokawa, I think it helped to a certain degree because the valuation of Kadokawa went up. I think around 20% or something like that. Again, I'm not very in line with financial stuff there, but it seemed this interest made Kadokawa evaluation grow up a little bit more, which to a certain extent might intimidate prospect buyers of Kadokawa. And that's why we are in this impasse between Sony and Kadokawa in terms of negotiations, given that also in terms of the business side of Kadokawa, Sony is only basically interested in gaming and anime. sectors of the company. But Kadokawa is more than that, and they only accept basically if they are going to be kind of acquired, they have to Sony has to buy all the portfolio of companies and businesses from Kadokawa, and of course Sony doesn't want to. Again, it is what it is with these kind of negotiations. There is this, I think this is some typo around here because again, 640 million dollars are not 4 billion euros. I'm not sure if there is maybe this is Japanese currency here for billion of Japanese currency. Um, but yeah, I don't like this move against Kadokawa. But yeah, they are reportedly been negotiating for years, but talks always collapse due to Kadokawa's insistence on a complete buyout, as I was saying there. Again, for Sony, again, if the deal goes through, Sony will acquire Kadokawa's 70% stake in From Software, as well other studios like Spike Chunshot and Acquire, which is not good. I don't like that, especially from the even though Sony is basically divided in North American and Japanese. Supposedly, the Japanese side of Sony will buy out then Kadokawa, supposedly. Um, it will be less worse, let's say. But I don't like this. And one of the reasons that they are reticent in going on full acquiring, similarly, they made a recent investment, $1.2 billion for music rights to Queen and Pink Floyd. But yeah, I don't know how will end up. I prefer Kadokawa to stay as much independent as possible. Again, it breeds competition on the market they are on, and the ones that interested me more is the gaming side of things and also anime. Hopefully they can maintain as much independence as they can. And it's unfortunate that Japan just remove restrictions in terms of protections of Japanese companies. Again, Japan by itself is a very small country, taking in comparison with the other players in town or in the world, especially in this kind of in terms of value worth. Even though they are very international Japanese companies, again, it opens the floodgates to any kind of big corpo, given Tencent, this Kakao, South Korea Kakao Corp, or even, for example, Microsoft or a big corporation to just, okay, we're going to acquire you. And usually Kadokawa is in this kind of position, mainly we can blame From Software successes to a certain extent because again they are doing excellent, and there is some estimations that even that just securing this deal only because of From Software is worth by itself. So acquiring all the Kadokawa and then just to keep with From Software, yeah. When you are that good, sometimes again you are bound for this kind of things to happen. But overall, I hope this doesn't happen, and they manage because already Tencent is already has a stake there. Sony is already has a stake in mainly in From Software. But yeah, hopefully they can I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like this because when you are dependent on these kind of corporations that just prioritize financials over a creative company like a gaming developer like From Software, which is a creative, let's say, a creative job per se in creating games. And if you put profits over the creativity, you're bound to fail, because it works best on the other way around. You create an excellent game, and the financials will follow up. And if you go the other way around, usually that doesn't happen. But yeah, hopefully this doesn't happen. If we have more news, I will try to follow up on this update here. Then we got another interesting interview from Cronos, the new Dawn. I covered the teaser that they launched. I don't remember. I think it was on the Xbox showcase that they did. They showed Cronos, the new Dawn. I think it was that time. They had an interview uh, with whom I know. I think it was the CEO of Bloober Team. No, the games director. Sorry. Uh, Chiekcho. I'm sorry, I'm butchering the name. But yeah, we got a little bit more details because it was only a teaser to set the mood of the game. Supposedly, they were trying to aim for, in terms of combat, something similar to between Resident Evil, Prey, Dead Space. So, in that sense, because this is going to be a horror game by itself, and it's going to be very narrative focused. It's what usually Blue Team does. Their biggest success, the Layers of Fear, it comes from them, and I think they are trying to introduce their own development team some combat stuff there. Hopefully, it will be good. But by itself, being a horror story, I think it might serve good in a horror setting. But yeah, they will have similar combat. Again, I will assume that Space remake, which was pretty solid in terms of combat, they tweak around a little bit there. I like Resident Evil. Resident Evils, I played 7 and Resident Evil 4 remake I didn't play, but again, it seems very resource driven in terms of managing resources to fight enemies, which sounds good to me. And there's going to be supposedly a combat mechanic that will spice things up. Again, given that the title of the game is Cronos: The New Dawn, and it will, I will assume, involve some time shenanigans thing. I will assume it's something regarding time manipulations of some sort. We got a good game that came out a lot of years ago, which I forget the name of, which basically, as a main protagonist, you had a glove that can manipulate like certain parts of the levels, so you can reconstruct or degrade some parts of the areas. So you can basically turn, you can jump forward in time or pull back time on those specific things. Usually, it's for puzzle solving in terms of the scenarios that we were involved in. I think we might have something similar, or at least trying to do this kind of approach, which seems interesting to me because I don't think we've been seeing a lot of that coming out in a lot of games. Time manipulation, it's not easy to set up, but I think it could be done. But yeah, again, the team is still storytellers at heart, saying that there will be a strong emphasis on story and atmospheric exploration. I like that. But yeah, hopefully, supposedly the game will come out next year. Hopefully, it is a really good game. And got a basically also a setup here, which is the travel relies on the suit, weapons, and abilities, but it's still very vulnerable to monstrosities lurking in the ruins of an old world. You will be outnumbered, and you will need to be careful to stay alive. Resources are limited, and monsters hit hard. Again, it's kind of the setting that I usually like. I suppose it might be some stealth involved. I'm not sure, but again, all the messaging here from the guys that are trying to sell the game, let's say, seems good. Hopefully, we will see something next year, some ramping up on the marketing side of things, so you can get a better idea what this game is all about. In other news, we got Liza Pi DLC. Again, I covered this here and there. Supposedly, it's set up to launch first quarter of 2025. Again, depending on the country. Usually, when they mention quarters, is financial quarters. But yeah, it's set up to be available in first quarter of 2025. I will assume South Korea first quarter 2025, might be it in the end of this year or maybe the beginning of next year. And they are at this moment recruiting level designers and scenario planners for a new survival horror game set in a sci-fi universe, which I like. The title will be made with Unreal Engine 5, which is, I think, the same that Lies P, and released for PC and console. So they are working on the DLC, and they are working supposedly, at least in pre-production, for a new game, which is on the sci-fi universe. I like that. Hopefully, is as good as Lies of P. The report also this comes all from a report, of course. The report also claimed that Neo is in dire need of new successes. Again, they didn't launch anything this year, at least in terms of major releases, which led at this moment in time 21% decrease in sales and 68 decrease in operating profit. Again, there is a decrease. It seems that they are not on the red, let's say, but again, given that they didn't do anything this year of noteworthiness, it seems they need to ramp up a little bit there with a new release. And they also recently signed a publishing deal with Polish developer Zakazane, which is formed by CD Projekt Red developers. Again, the CD Projekt Red bleeding out talent for a few years now, and they are forming their own studios, and this is one of the examples here. And NeoWiz will basically publish the upcoming single-player noir Western role-playing game. I think I covered this game here and there, but yeah, we don't have more news regarding any kind of details and launch dates, if not mistaken. And then finally, to wrap up in terms of news, again, it comes up again. The Witcher 4 will be bigger and better than CD Projekt Red's previous games. I don't know about that, but again, they are full-scale production. Joint CEO, this guy, I don't want to mispronounce more names today, claimed that the game will be bigger and better than previous titles made by the Polish studio because that's simply how they roll in terms of ambition. I don't know how they're going to do this. I don't think Witcher 4 is going to be as good as people think it might be. Again, The Witcher 3 put a high quality in terms of how a game should be, and to a certain degree, Cyberpunk also after the release of 2.0 because the launch of that game was a shit show. But yeah, continuing with this kind of interview, the only thing I will say is that changing the tech for us does not change the fact that we always be ambitious. I'm not sure about that. And then he comes here with the excuses. And the next game we do will not be smaller and will not be worse. That's not very confident. So it will be better, bigger, greater than The Witcher 3. I don't know about that. It will be better than Cyberpunk, which is not that difficult, especially on if it launches better than Cyberpunk. I think any game can do that because for us it's inaccessible to launch that way. And then it comes here, the technology should not be a blocker for us. Basically, again, we know that hammering the hammer again. There was a lot of talent bleeding out from CD Projekt, especially on the engineering side of things of their proprietary engine. That's why they basically are changing to Unreal Engine. Again, having a proprietary engine, you need to have a good amount of engineers and senior personnel that know how to work on that engine. And if you don't have that, again, you cannot maintain the engine by itself, even more trying to upgrade the engine to be more in par with the competition. And the fact that a lot of the senior engineering staff got out of CD Projekt Red, especially after Cyberpunk came out. Yeah, we saw this transition. It was to a certain extent unavoidable, unfortunately, because Red Engine, if you play Cyberpunk, is the poster child for this new RTX stuff that they are doing, the path tracing, the RTX, whatever they are doing. It's still, that engine is still the poster child of that. And it's basically a game engine that it's dead because there is not going to be any more games coming out from that engine. But yeah, it's still the poster child. It shows how good the engine is, how very versatile, and even we saw a big transformation even from The Witcher 3 to Cyberpunk, and what the engine can do and what can handle, and to a certain extent the the fact that it's very versatile. Sorry about today is Monday. It's very versatile in terms of like mod stuff, which is very good. And even the creation kit, it seems pretty good in terms of people that not engineers in the engine can tweak around and do their own stuff. Again, it's a very good engine, which unfortunately is dead because they lack of better terms, they went woke, and instead of having good people and professional people being there, they're just going to outsource everything to Unreal Engine 5, which to a certain degree, the maintenance of that engine is dependent on Unreal Engine engineers. So that's why they went for that, so they don't have that overhead cost of having engineers working on that, or at least not that much. But yeah, VP of Technology Charles Tremblay regarding the somewhat puzzling decision to switch from Red Engine to Epic Unreal Engine 5, starting with Witcher 4. Yeah, it's not good. However, the studio noticed that it was, again, this is the excuse. Uh, the studio noticed it was problematic to handle multiple projects at once, whereas it should be simpler with Unreal Engine. Moreover, using the most popular game making tool, CD Projekt could put more players working on the actual games. I don't know what this is here. Could put more players working on the actual games. Again, maybe do their beta testing. I don't know. But yeah, this is a very lame excuse of handling multiple projects at once. Um, CD Projekt, until launch of Cyberpunk, was doing one game at a time. As the size of the studio, they had several phases. They have the Witcher 3, then some of the part of the developers were transitioning to Cyberpunk, and then after Cyberpunk, there was some pre-production from other projects, and then entering full production. They were phasing in, phasing out. Again, I don't know what kind of excuses they're trying to do here, because the same way that you can work on an engine and you got dedicated engineers, in-house engineers to help you out with the engine itself. I don't know what kind of excuse is this. Again, the excuse is they don't have any more engineers to take care of the in-house engine that they had, in this case, Red Engine. But yeah, and continuing here, so the idea was that we can push the technology. We can finally have all the technical people in the company working together on different projects. Again, I don't understand that. Having an in-house engine, it works the same way, but who am I? Rather than super centralized into one technology that can very difficultly be shared between other projects. Again, I don't continue not to understand this. It maintains the thing that you have in-house engineers that, if it is well staffed, they can easily, especially being in-house, you're not dependent on outsourcing this kind of resources to other companies. If you have anything in-house, if you have a good management team, again, if you have a good management team, I think you can do this more easily than relying on third party companies that are taking care of the engine itself. But who am I? But yeah, we wanted to be sure that we develop some technology correctly this time around. Again, the engine itself is pretty good. Again, hammering back, it's the poster child of path tracing still so far, in terms of showcasing the technology that NVIDIA is trying to showcase, given the frame generation stuff, the upscaling stuff with path tracing and all that jazz, ray reconstruction thingies. It still uses that engine because they didn't change the engine from Cyberpunk. So again, this baffles me to a certain degree, but it's not surprising given in terms of the corporation side of things, how they turn around and decide to go for a different route. I don't think in the upcoming next few games from CD Projekt Red, starting with probably The Witcher 4, then probably they will get the Cyberpunk 2 or the sequel there, and the other remakes that we are going to see. I think those 3 to 4 games are going to be a shit show. They're not going to sell well because they're going to be marred with technical difficulties, and the story is not going to be good. We're going to see a lot of messaging throughout there. And yeah, because they are doubling down to a certain degree on stupid, they will fuck around and find out eventually when the games come out. But yeah, I drag along here too much for today. But yeah, we're going for some gaming deals. And on Epic Game Store, we got some free games. You got at this moment Potato. I'm not sure how good this is. And the upcoming games that will come out will be Bus Simulator 21. I don't know how good this is. And then if you like Star Wars, again, given that this is Skywalker Saga, I'm not surprised this is for free in the after February December 5th. So That's that. I will leave everything on this in terms of links on the description below. Then we got on Steam. We still have some stuff here good for sale. We got Prey again. Stamp of approval for my part, especially on the sides of the base game. If you're not sure if this game is for you, can check out my gameplay series that I did. First episode, you will have a good idea what this game is all about, and it's a stamp of approval with recommendation all over. And I do make a point of pointing out this game as a good immersive sim here. Then you got also Midnight Suns again. After I already played the base game here, stamp of approval, excellent deal here, 85% off on the base game. Then you got here the digital plus edition here. I think it has the characters, which is the Bloodstorm, which is oh my god, the this lady that manipulates. Completely forgot. Sue Storm? No, I'm not sure. Then got the Hunger, which is Mephisto. No, not Mephisto. God damn it, the vampire guy. Oh my god, I'm terrible with my thing. You got the redemption arc for Venom, and then you got the Deadpool stuff here. Again, it's cheaper. This is the season pass that brings all of it, and also the extra content on the suit stuff there. I think it includes that. But yeah, the base game is got a step of approval from my part. Then you got Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm waiting for to play this one. I managed to claim it for free from Epic Game Store. I will eventually play this game. It's always had some very positive reactions here, and it's on sale for 85% off. Then you got the Batman Arkham Collection, the trilogy, which is the better one. Very good games. I played these two here, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. I will eventually buy out Arkham Knight. I just leave it here on the wish list so I know when it's for sale, the franchise here. That's why I didn't buy it yet. But yeah, 85% off on the collection, and yeah, it's got my stamp of approval there. Got Doom, 80% off. There is some other bundles here, but yeah, Doom 80% off, and then you got Doom Eternal. The standard edition is 75% off, and then you got the deluxe edition, which has the ancient god stuff there, if not mistaken. Seems pretty good. One of those that I'm not very much on shooter side of things, but I'll probably try this one out one of these days for sure. But yeah, we got also Resident Evil franchise is on sale. I will leave all the Resident Evil games on the gaming deal side of the description part, so you can choose and pick and complete your collection there. Then you got August Legacy, best price so far, 70% off. Then you got the deluxe edition also. It's not that much, and you got some other stuff upcoming next year, I think. Then you got Atomic Heart, one of those that I really need to try out the demo before I buy the game because I'm very interested on this game. And yes, around 67% off on all editions. Got also Nier Replicant, 60% off. Then the sequel, Nier Automata, 60% off. Got also Planet of Lana, 50%. Again, kind of a puzzle game, if not mistaken. But yeah, very positive reviews. One of those that I will want to play also one of these days. We got also Sekiro. We got also Dark Souls Trilogy is on sale so far, I think. And Sekiro is also 50% off, which is a rare thing to see from software games on sale. Then you got Lies of P that we talked about earlier is 40% off. And then we got the deluxe edition, which will come with the DLC stuff, if not mistaken. It's also 40% off. We got also Pacific Drive, 40% on the base edition. Deluxe edition is also 40%. I think the content they are being putting out does justify the deluxe edition from the looks of it. But it's one of those games that I'm really interested of trying out also. And then lastly, we got Jusan, 40% off. And again, there is a lot of games. I cannot cover all of them on the autumn sale. Again, just check out. These are micro recommendations for today. Tomorrow I'll try to bring more games here. But yeah, this is it for today. I'm going to wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon. I'm sorry again for the rambling on today's episode, but yeah, it's Monday. I'm a little bit off guard in terms of memory size of things. I try to rest on the weekend. But yeah, I'll wrap up here with a plug on my patrons for access support. The access support will be more in line for me to try and get a better storage solution so I can have backups of stuff that I do for my clients. And of course, some more space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.